Zoomed in on my face, and it's like, no. I've been in yours, it's like, feel the soup early, you sit outside and breathe. It's cool out here. Good Shabbat. Mazal tov. Tough one. So cool. Thank you so much. Good Shabbat. Oh, raise the white flag.
Yeah, that was, yeah, especially the first couple weeks. And even still, she's doing so great. The community. I think we should have been helping. They just said she could graduate. But I thought that was like so weird at the show, like running into people, at least more other people. Like they got me everywhere I go, so at least they're moving at night. Like talking about theirs. Shalom, that's very on. Hi, everyone. As you're coming in, I'm going to invite you to come close. It's so good. I've missed you, and I'd love for you if you want to come up close, whether that might feel a little nerve-wracking, but just know it really changes the feeling of prayer in the space, to sit close to one another, to hear each other's voices, to sense each other's deep breaths. So grateful to see you today. As people are coming into Zoom, I think Joy, just really glad to see you. We'll just begin with some gentle singing. Ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la, ya ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's so good to see you, to hear you. It's been a month since I've seen you, and I'm really grateful both for the time away and also for the great gift of getting to come back. So I want to begin Shabbat tonight by noticing where we are. By feeling our bodies in space. Sweetest. Hearing sounds around us, welcoming people in as they come close. I want to invite you to notice what's happening in your body. Maybe the soreness of a week, coming to the end of a week. Maybe an aching heart, maybe a joyful heart. I'm going to invite you, if you want, to just shift your body in space, find a posture that feels comfortable. If you want to look to your left and to your right and in front of you and behind you and just say, hi, thank you for being here. We gather together here on the ancestral land of the Dakota people, here on 50th Street, here at Shir Tikva. This wild community, this vibrant and alive community that has been holding each other for 36 years, double chai. This community that is trying to find harmony, cacophonous harmony, throughout these last 36 years. Ad Mea V'Esrim and beyond until 120 and more. My practice this last month, then we will daven, but my practice this last month has been noticing that when people ask me how I'm doing, my attempt to be earnest and honest was to be real about how hard it was. Let me tell you, I'm tired. And this month I started experimenting with the practice of starting with what felt good. With what felt good. Not overextending, not lying, not covering over, but just starting with gratitude. And I want to offer to us, that's a practice of hidur mitzvah. That's a practice of making the essential beautiful, right? Of coming to a place of noticing, which does not dismiss the hard. It doesn't ignore the broken. But it says, how do we start from a place of hineni? I'm here. I'm ready. And let's begin. So I want to invite us as we light our Shabbat candles tonight and as we enter into Shabbat to start from that place, if it feels possible. To start from that place of hidur mitzvah, of making something a little bit more beautiful. Maybe with our voices, with our presence, with our generosity to the people around us, with our loving attention to our tradition. Okay? So I'm going to invite, I know there are people in this space Rachel, I want to invite you up to light candles, but I'm going to give a general category. And I know Rachel is in recovery after knee replacement surgery, and this is your first time back. Yeah, welcome back, Rachel. And I just want to open, so the specific is Rachel is here for the first time after surgery. We're so glad you're here. And if there's anyone else who's like, yes, I am back, having survived something big, and I'm glad to be entering Shabbat here with you, I'm going to invite you to come up. And certainly if you're on Zoom, if that is a consonant story for, or resonant story for you, please identify yourself so we can celebrate with you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner ner shel Shabbat. Welcome back. We'll turn together to page 12. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzoyishenu nekadem afanav betodah bizmirot nariya lo lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzoyishenu nekadem afanav betodah bizmirot nariya lo ya la la ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya la ya la 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 ya la la ya la ya la la ya yo ya la la ya la ya la 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 la
In a minute, we'll turn to the next page, page 13. Just a quick public service announcement. Anyone who brought a child here today, your child is so welcome in this space. We love to hear the sound of them, the sight of them, their screams and cries add to our prayers. And if you would like some moments of lap-free praying and davening and singing tonight, there is childcare provided upstairs, totally no pressure. Let us bring all of those cries and sings and everything into our davening on page 13. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, baseru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Sapru vagoyim, kevodo, bechol ha'amim, nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai, umulal meod, norahu, al kol Elohim, ki kol Elohei, ha'amim elilim, v'Adonai, shamayim asa, hod v'hadar, lefanav, oz v'tiferet, במקדשו ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלוא יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל השיער לפני אדוני כי בא לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו יא לה 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 יא לה 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 איי 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 יאללה 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 לה 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 יאללה לה 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 איי 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 We turn forward to page 16, 5 lines, 6 lines, something like that, down on the page. The
5
words,
whole lines.
5 whole lines with the words Yiram Hayam.
Yiram hayam umlon tevel veyoshveva Yiram hayam umlon tevel veyoshveva Yiram hayam umlon tevel veyoshveva Yiram hayam umlon tevel veyoshveva. Who here can hear the sound of the ocean, can summon the sound of the ocean into your imagination? I know this is a chutzpahdik question to ask in Minnesota. But can we take a moment and hear the ocean? The boomness, the bigness, the breathness of the ocean. On Shabbat, our job, our work, the only work we have, the only responsibility we have is to remind the earth that it was created. That we were created in balance for a moment, in balance. And when we sing Yiram Hayam Umlo'o, let the sea and everything, its fullness, its wholeness, thunder out, can't we imagine the sea reminding us? We were in balance there for a moment. And Shabbat, it's not work. Our responsibility is to open ourselves enough, to be brave enough to say, on Shabbat, we're in balance again. On Shabbat, we're just defying any sense of limitation we put on ourselves or the earth. We're opening it all the way up, like the ocean. So I'm going to invite us to sing again these words, Yiram Hayam Umlo'o. Maybe if it helps to keep that sound of the ocean in your brain, in your heart, but to let these words open us. Shabbat's coming to remind us we can be in balance. The earth can be in balance. And our song helps open the way. Yiram hayam umlo tevel veyoshveva Yiram hayam umlo
We call out number 1 on your supplement.
It's different.
Anna bekoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerura kaberina rina tamcha sarenu tareinu nora ana bechoach gedulat yemincha tatir tzerura kaberinat rinat amcha saveinu tareinu nora We'll turn in a moment to page 20. The words Lecha Dodi. This is a wedding song. We're celebrating Shabbos coming in like a bride into a wedding. I used to, I think, envision and hold these words as just pure, unadulterated joy, which I still feel, but I'm in a wedding season of my life. Just many people that I love are getting married, including my brother later in the summer. And what I've learned about weddings is they're unadulterated joy and unbound anxiety. And so here's the challenge or the invitation I'd like to give us tonight, is to explore what it would look like to come into these words, balancing all of the complications and hard and the spinning thoughts, and still within that, finding within each other's voices and presence, and this feeling of Shabbos, what it feels like to have that spark of an alternative, of pure simcha. We'll sing together on page 20. It's the tradition in this community to run or hobble or whatever through the doors of the sanctuary for the last verse. You're invited to do that or stay here as we sing the last verse of this. Lecha Dodi, ay, 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 likra, kala, ay, 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 pene, Shabbat, lekabela, Shamor v'zachor medimurecha nishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litil alecha dodi. Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maseh b'machshavat tichila lecha dodi. Yachamol alaychem lalecha dodi. Likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela. בית הלך מקרובה אל נפשי גאה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבל
likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Okay. Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela b'nei Shabbat nekavela lo tevoshi velo tikani מה תשכחי ומה תהמי בך יחסו אני עמי ונבנתה עיר על תלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו לי שישה שוסייך ורחקו קומם עלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס קטן על כלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי לשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובשוכלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי כלה בואי כלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה פני שבת נקבלה ירדה 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 ya 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 da da ya da ya 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 da da ya da ya ya da 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 yamba ya 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 lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela pene Shabbat nekabela
Well, half of our kahila is sweating in the warmth. Let's sing a little bit more together. Yum da 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 ya da da ya da da, hi ya ya ya. Yum da 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 ya da da ya da da ya, hi ya ya. Yum da 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 ya da da ya da da ya, hi ya 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 da da ya. Yum da da da. Oh yum da 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 ya da da ya, hi ya ya ya. Yum da 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 ya da da ya, hi ya ya. Yum da da ya da ya. Hi ya ya da 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 ya. We turn to page 22.
Mizmor shir, mizmor shir, mizmor shir, mizmor shir, mizmor shir, mizmor shir, shir leyom haShabbat, shir leyom haShabbat, shir leyom haShabbat, shir leyom haShabbat.
Two notes of introduction. One, just to say, well, three. One, Shabbat Shalom. Two, we're experimenting with bringing our Divrei Torah, our sermons, a little bit earlier in the service. Please feel free to come up with all of your enthusiasm or scathing critique of this move after the service. Introduction number 3, I, for a second week in a row, forgot to bring a notebook to put my Devar Torah in and have ended up again with a free book from the library, Reform Judaism Today from 1978. My sermon is not coming from this book. Tonight, I want to move through 3 things: a joke, a retelling of the hardest moments in Jewish history, and finally, a hug. We'll end with a hug, I promise. Okay, the joke. My mother-in-law is a rabbi, and her father before her was a rabbi. Both rabbis who brought into the rabbinate one and only one joke. And I would like to tell it to you tonight. A parent and their kid were sitting on a beach when a wave rose up and swallowed the kid into the ocean. So far, this is not very funny, I want to acknowledge. The parent immediately cried out to the heavens, "God, oh God, please, I'll do anything. Bring my child back, my bubala, bring her home." A moment later, another wave crashed and the child was returned to the shore. The parent looked disgusted. "Nu? He was wearing a hat." Okay, I'm not at all sure that what this joke has to do with anything that is about to come forward, but I think that there is something deep here to say about the way that we Jews hold and narrate the hardest memories in our lives. So much of Jewish life revolves around doing just this, of looking back and literally singing and lamenting and storytelling our way through difficult stuff. I'm wondering this week about the choices we make in these acts of retelling. How can we hold our past in such a way that leads us towards honesty and love for ourselves, for each other, for our non-Jewish neighbors, and for the divine? The question is very much alive in the interpretive tradition of the final chapters of Sefer Bamidbar. One of the parshiot we read this week, Ma'aseh, begins with Ele Ma'aseh B'nai Yisrael. These were the journeys of the Israelites who started out from the land of Egypt. Sounds like it is going to be a fun travel narrative. Instead, what follows is the list of all of the places where terrible things have happened to the Jewish people. The places where we have struggled most deeply with strife within the community and between the community and God. In a few verses' time, it presents a heart-wrenching retelling of our history. And there's a part of me, my interior moody teenager, who deeply loves the honesty and vulnerability of this telling of our story. This profound focus on negativity. These verses, they create an opportunity to encounter our anger with each other and God, along with our feelings of guilt and shame. The result is one part protest, one part confession, all parts heavy and hard. And while there's something, I think, compelling about this vision, there's also something haunting. To get stuck here risks calcifying a narrative in which we are always the victim, always to blame, always scared and hurt. Perhaps responding to this concern, the rabbis of Bamidbar Rabbah suggest that the list in Maaseh is not there to emphasize our misfortune, but instead God's miracles. Each place in the list marks a moment where something profoundly bad happened, sure, but it also marks a place where God saved us. The Midrash seems to be saying this is not so much a litany of disasters, but rather a celebration of our ongoing survival in partnership with the divine. This approach reminds me of a question that I learned to ask in first responder chaplaincy training. At the point that a person is medically stable after a crisis, my teachers encouraged us to ask the question, when did you know that you were going to survive? The goal here is to give a person a chance to wrestle back ownership and agency over their story after something uncontrollable, to allow their soul and heart to follow their body away from disaster. And so it might be with this list. Again and again, Bamidbar might be telling us, you have lived, and your journey is almost over. And while I'm compelled by the fundamental hopefulness of this approach, I'm also struck by the risk of dissociation or denial. And focusing on our survival exclusively, we might be trying impossibly to forget the hardship and pain of the journey. We might also be letting God and each other off the hook. In positivity, the Midrash wipes away the potential power of lamenting. Okay, so where do we land? I feel the severe limitations of emphasizing the positives or the negatives of our story. And honestly, until about 24 hours ago, I was stuck until our incredible rabbinic intern, Jace's Shabbat message reintroduced me to an alternative midrashic path through Israel's journey. Another voice in the same midrash, Bamidbar Rabbah, compares the beginning of our parsha to a queen whose son was ill and whom she took to a distant place to cure him. When they returned home, the mother began to enumerate all the stages of their journey, saying to him, here's where we slept. Here's where we got cold together. Here's where you had that headache. The Midrash casts God as the queen and the people of Israel as the sick child. The implication is that God has led us through the misfortunes of the wilderness like a parent might guide their child towards a place of healing. I love the specificity and the intimacy of this vision, the image of God holding our ancestors like a parent would cradle a child in pain. The picture of God shivering in the wilderness alongside Bnei Israel. But what I find most fascinating about this approach is the element of retelling. As our ancestors lived through the events of Sefer Bamidbar, the parable suggests that they were unable to understand the meaning or direction of their journey. Like the unconscious sick child, they fundamentally lacked awareness. And now, at the end of their journey, they're sufficiently healed to take it all in. And what does God offer them? It's a narrative somewhere between the negativity of the biblical text and the positivity of our first midrash. The God of the parable says clearly, this was really hard. You suffered and I suffered alongside you, and I did this for you. We did this together because I knew we could move towards healing. The parable suggests that God and Israel find each other neither in the rock bottom nor the happy ending, but in the ongoing struggle, in the illness and support, in love and fear and heartbreak. I've spoken tonight about how we look back on the hard stuff, how the Torah and God and we ourselves narrate this past. Alongside this question, I sense another urgent problem. How do we live through the hardest stuff? Not just in retrospect, but in the moment. How do we survive when things are terrible? This feels like an urgent question right now, in these 3 weeks leading up to the holiday of Tisha B'Av, in our collective and personal sorrows. And I don't know the answer, but one thing that gives me comfort is the image from the parable of the parent carrying the sick child. While we might not feel or know it, perhaps gentle arms carry us through our suffering towards healing. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue moving towards our evening prayer on page 28. I invite folks to rise or root. Yam bada ya 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 yo. Ya da da ya 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 yo. Ya ya da ya ya ya. Ya da da ya ya ya. Ya da da ya 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 yo. Ya da da ya 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 da ya 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 da da ya. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Folks can be seated. We turn to page 30, where we bless a God that brings light and brings darkness too. I'll invite folks to notice the space around us today, to see and to feel the interplay of light and shadow, of white and black, of colors and darkness. Taking a big breath in and out.
הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, הוא מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני המריב הרבים.
We turn to page 32. In a moment, we'll bless God who brings love into the world. I invite you to bring to mind one moment of profound joy and love and support that you've experienced this summer. Bring that in, taking a big breath in and out. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu vehem nege yomam v'layla ve'avtecha al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll turn to page 34 for the Shema. Feel free to rise if it's your tradition.
Shema.
You can be seated. Page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinatam levanecha v'tibarta bam v'shivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vadere ushochbecha uvkumecha ukshartan leod al yadecha vehayu letotafot benenecha uvtaptam al mizuzot betecha uvisharecha lemahan tiskeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelechem Ahani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lechem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Amen. We turn forward to page 40.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora teilot oseh fele malechutecha ra'u vanecha bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Zeli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed yalalai ay 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 yalalai ay ay yalalai ay yalalai ay ay Adonai et Yaakov וגאה מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Turn to page 42. We pray for protection and we pray for peace. And my kavanah tonight is may we pray wildly for peace. May we pray for a peace that just is so much bigger and so much wholer than ceasefire, that is so much bigger and so much wholer than any of our individual imaginations can hold it. Because none of us know everything. None of us is holding the whole picture. May we pray for peace so wildly that we just keep making space for more and more and more and more and more peace. And may that wild prayer make us less afraid of what we say, less afraid of how we show up, less afraid of each other. May our wild prayer for peace open and bring more peace. Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat, shelomecha, ufros aleinu sukat, sukat, shelomecha, ufros aleinu sukat, shelomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'al Yerushalayim.
We'll rise or root on page 44. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורות ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו. בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו. שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתו.
We'll take this time now in quiet, beginning on page 46 and moving through in private prayer, personal prayer, till page 62. Ose shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru, imru, amen.
In a moment, we'll say the words of our prayer for healing, number 3 on your supplement. But before we get there, I'll take a look around the room, and I invite folks to say the name of anyone that you're praying for healing for tonight. Tonight, we're praying for.
Just for today.
When the world is sick, can no one be well? I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. When the world is sick, can no one be well? Well, I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong.
We'll take this time now to offer blessings for our community. The tradition on Shabbat is to bless children, and surprise, all of us are children. The amazing thing about blessing, the tradition of humans blessing humans, is that every human needs blessings, and every human is capable of offering blessings. And so part of this work that we've been doing as a community and making space for blessing every Shabbat is to both practice the act of giving and receiving. And it's wonderful on this night where children have truly been in the center of the service in ways consensual and not, to just take this time to say, what does it mean for us as a community to bless the next generation? And what does it mean for us, and how do we make space to be able to offer blessings to ourselves, to each other, recognizing that there's parts of every single one of us that is like parched earth needing blessing. And there are parts of each of us that is resplendent and ready to offer blessing. So our beloved Zoom blessers who have been blessing us for years now, are fretting a bit in the chat because they're like, we're separated from the Dvar Torah. What are we going to bless about? And I just want to say, I trust you. Like, I really trust you that actually the blessings that we get to offer one another and the blessings that we get to open ourselves to receive can be humble like a single word, right? Can be thick and complicated as some of your blessings are sometimes. But what matters is that we make the space for it more than anything else. So I'm going to invite you to sing along with me. We'll bless, and that's number 4 in our tiny sheets. And then we'll make space for the blessings of community. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hane'arim, ve'ikarev bahem shemi, v'shem avotai, v'shem avotai, Avraham ve'Yitzchak, ve'yidgul harov, ve'yidgul harov, bekerev haaretz, yisimchem Elohim kesara, kerivka, kerachel uchelea, ke'Efraim v'chimenashe, yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Yalalai, 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 aylayo, ayalalai, yalalai, ayayo. May we all be beautiful and strong. May we always be open to change. May we all take turns carrying and being carried through changes. May we receive the healing and energy we need. May we recognize our power. May the collective power of our individual prayers move us forward in our journeys towards realization of our vision. May we all find the way to work through the hard stuff. May we be borne back to shore by the wave. May we continue this long journey with support among us and with us. May we savor the sunshine. May we do the work of learning how to carry each other through it all. May we see more and more and more peace. May we be willing to be afraid together. may Rabbi Joey find another joke to pass on to the rabbis to come. May we nurture the urge for revenge out of our hearts. May our memories of our dreams and journey as a child inspire our blessings of children of today. May we be compassionate and honest as we learn together. May we believe in our capacity to bless each other. May we all let people take care of us, even if we are used to doing everything ourselves. It's okay to let people in. Came Yehiratzon. Ya la la, ya la la, ya yo. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la yo. Ay, ay, la la la, ya la, ay, la la, ay. Breathtaking and beautiful and nourishing blessings. Thank you. Thank you. We'll begin to conclude our service together. The real test after a month is, do I remember page numbers? Page 284. She does, everyone. 4 lines up from the bottom of the first paragraph on page 284. Please rise in body and spirit. Be seated. We take time now to remember for Kadisha Tom, to speak names aloud of those people who have died recently and those who have died at this time in years past. We take time before reading our community's list to make space in our heart and in our community for the too many thousands of people who have been killed in this last year in Israel-Palestine. Knowing that these prayers are not enough, but we dedicate space to face, to remember, to resolve. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. We're in Shloshim for Ned Rosmainer, father of Izzy and stepfather of Ellie and beloved member of Shir Tikva. We're in Shloshim for David Earl Rinker, father of Kristen Ruth, grandfather of Eben and Emmett,
If folks hear a name that they know and would want to share just a word of story, no pressure, but feel free to wave and I'll find you.
We observe the yard sites for Joyce Abel, beloved member of Shir Tikva. Olga Barron, Amy Jacobson's grandmother. Philip Cohen, Jessica's grandfather. Todd Evanson, Ryan Fagan's father. Beatrice Friedman, Eric Rame's mother-in-law. Frances Jackson, Grant's mother. Corky Jacobson, Amy's mother. Stanton Calliser, Joey's brother. Laverne Castrol, Dan's mother. Bernice Kelman, Mindy Benowitz's grandmother.
I knew my grandmother well into my 40s. She died at Shalom Home, and but grew up really poor on the north side, and I'd sleep over at her house. She'd listen to Yiddish radio shows. I have fond memories of hanging out with her and her taking me to lunch at little places and stuff like that. But I was just thinking about kind of wishing that she could have the benefits of all the changes that have happened since she grew up. I was just thinking of all these things that were so stigmatized that she had really struggled with and had a lot of shame about, growing up with a mom who came over at age 14 and worked in factories, and her only sibling was developmentally delayed, and they had so much shame about that and hid her away, and having a daughter, her first daughter, be an oddwood mother. I mean, all the stuff that, like, now it's kind of like no big deal, But back then it was really hard, and I'm just appreciating like all the things that she kind of was carrying and dealing with, and kind of wishing she had the benefits of our time now.
Emmy Mills, Kendrick Cronin's beloved friend. Sarah Niemer, Gil Friedman's grandmother.
My grandma loved me unconditionally, and I thought I was her favorite, but it turned out she just loved all her grandchildren. It was such an open, caring heart. And the story I want to share was way back when I was young, in my 20s. She found out I didn't have a television, and she took me to Target, and she sat in my car and gave me her credit card, and I went in and bought a television. She found out I hadn't had one for months, and she's like, "That's not right." She was really amazing. She was the first person I told in my family that I was pregnant.
Edith Parker, Genevieve Parker's grandmother. Cy Rosenthal, Emma Sutton's father. Tom Siegel, beloved member of Shir Tikva.
Yeah, Tom was a really loving man who suffered from mental illness. He and I spent time together. We went out to lunch together. He came to my granddaughter Isabella's birthday parties, and he died by suicide.
Clara Waldman, Wendy Henry's grandmother. Leonard Walk, David's father and grandfather of Dan and Sarah. Shirley Norma Orand Weissman, Robert Weissman's daughter. Ronald Westgate, Joanne Gordon's father. And Grady Wicks, Jess Wicks's father. I wonder, are there other people who you're remembering tonight whose names you'd like to share?
Yeah, last week I was out of town, but it was my friend Franklin's Yortzeit. He was somebody who also suffered from mental illness, and he was like an uncle to my kids, and he also took his own life.
I'll invite us please to rise in body and spirit on page 294 for Kadisha Tome, Mourner's Kaddish.
Amad Irak Hirte Velik Malchute, V'chayechon V'lemechon V'chaye Decho Beit Yisrael, Bagalat V'izman Kariv Yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Omei Omaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalach Kucha B'rihu. Elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, amiram be'ama v'imru, amen. Yishlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'akol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen.
So I'm so glad to be able to invite MJ Gilbert up to join us to offer announcements.
You will never be rid of me. I will haunt your dreams.
Shabbat Shalom.
Come on, what greater gift could I offer you? I'm MJ Gilbert. I am a former board member at Shir Tikva, and what an amazing joy it is to be here with you, to pray with you, to sing with you. It is an amazing room to be in tonight and every night that we find ourselves together. If at the end of the service you would be so kind as to separate your little tiny pages and your prayer books and take both back over there, everyone who helps make this happen would be really grateful to you. Thanks to everybody who made tonight possible. For our beloved rabbis, Ariel and Joey, and welcome back, Ariel. You look very well rested. It's just, no. And appearances are everything. To Gordon, Eric, the Makominian, Julie Jacobs, Lori Sweet, thank you to our Shomrim and Security for your steady presence in making it possible for us to do the work we have to do in here with a whole heart. There's always a lot going on at Shir Tikva. The way to find out about all those things is to look at the weekly e-news and look at the website. There are a couple of programmatic updates. Tonight was a childcare night. Maybe you noticed there were children in the house tonight. It was amazing. That will continue to happen on the first Shabbat of every month. Bring your 2 to 10-year-olds, tell your friends, tell their children. Tomorrow morning, we will gather at 10:30 in the morning for tefillah, for morning services and potluck. This is a monthly service. If you haven't been yet, it's very sweet. Next week will be a mask-required service. If that doesn't work for you, please join us on Zoom, but I hope you can join us in person or on Zoom. A reminder, finally, that this community is here to be for you when you need for it to be. There are people, there are rabbis, there are lay folks who, whether you are experiencing a moment of great joy or a moment of great change or a moment of great pain, want to be there. You should let them. So if that happens to you, any of those things, please let the rabbis know so that they can put the people who want to show up for you in network with you and show you that you are loved here. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Just add the moment as the person who hasn't been away from a month, like, oh shoot, what do we do at this point? But I think what we do is we bless wine and challah. You can find the blessing for wine on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratavanu Shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aser v'reshit ki hu yom techila lenikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוכה את שכינה, מקדשת השבת. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avo. Please stay, schmooze. There's oneg, but we'll close in song before that. We will. Okay, beautiful. Or mine.
Joey, lead us away.
Yum ba da ya 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 ya, yum ba da da ya ya da da, yum ba da da ya ya.
Shabbat Shalom. Hope to see you tomorrow. It's going to be such a sweet service, and I hope it's a wonderful weekend. Good Shabbos.